we are running.
It gave me what I needed to write my book. But something else as well, new path opened up in front of me, and also valuable personal lessons to learn from these ancient teacher plants, because I believe that that's what they are.
The way I describe it, an instant manifestation of 3 years of bioenergetics. In other words, I did for 3 years, I don't want to say happened in 1 minute, but it brought me back to the experience.
I have no idea what they do. What we don't understand about psychedelics is a very thick book. They bend the structure of reality, and I can't understand what they do. I have no conceptual framework for psychedelics. I have no idea what they are. They could be anything. I have no idea. They're unbelievably strange. What they reveal to me is how little we know about everything.
Drinking this ayahuasca, which, I mean, a lot of you think that that's drugs, but it's not at all. It's the marriage of two plants teaching us about divine love. It's an amazing, amazing experience. Just check it out, learn about it. Try not to judge it. It's not about getting high. It has nothing to do with that at all. It's a way of reaching your highest self.
What did they do to the way that you looked at the world?
Made me more grateful to be a part of this world. Didn't feel like it was a burden. Again, I struggled a bit with nihilism as well. Just what's the point of this? It doesn't matter. But I felt more connected to the human experience, and that I played a part in it.
It's interesting. So the scientific literature certainly indicates that under some circumstances, psychedelic use can produce outcomes that you could regard as beneficial. Psilocybin seems to be a very effective agent to help people stop smoking. So that's quite interesting, because that's a hard problem, and it does kill people. 85% success rate was what was reported in the last investigation. If people had a mystical experience, 85% of them quit smoking. It's like, it's pretty interesting.
Psychedelics are plant medicine. I do buy Terence McKenna's food of the gods argument.
Ayahuasca is often much more of a counselor in some ways, or it does give you ideas about what you should be doing, or, you know, like you say, your relationships or insights. You come away with a sense often that, you know, you really have to do something. You have to change something. You have to diet, or, you know, talk to your loved one and get some things straightened out, or stuff like that.
One of the universal effects of ayahuasca, it's very rare for this effect not to happen. If you're prepared to persist with it, it might not happen on your first night, but if you work with ayahuasca over a period of a couple of weeks, one of the things it leads you to do is to look back on the whole course of your own life in depth, and why you did certain things, and why you said certain things, and what your motives were and your reasons for doing things. And you suddenly find that you're not that shining hero that you thought you were. Ayahuasca shows you that right in your face. It's not like something you read in a book. It's a direct experience of who you actually are. And that's an incredible gift, because if who you actually are is not a very nice person, there for the first moment you have the opportunity to change that. You've been shown the truth about yourself, and you can either ignore it or you can work with it. And what I find with ayahuasca overwhelmingly for people all around the world is they don't ignore it. They do work with it. They do try to incorporate those lessons they've learned.
Dark room is just like all the master have to go through. So the formula in the Tao said, when you go into the dark until you cannot be dark, you're going to see light. So actually, when I do the research, it's the same thing as we call the melatonin and serotonin and 5-MeO and DMT. That is what the West discovered, the DMT and the 5-MeO. So all the drug is producing this. Okay.
In the dark
so we
therapy.
Call, we call psychedelic drugs.
Right.
It producing the DMT.
Yes.
So the people take it, they seem like, oh, they're our body.
Yeah. I just went to Costa Rica, drank ayahuasca.
Yeah.
That has the
and
DMT.
You go,
And I've got the experience, so I know.
So that is the whole key of that. Okay. So now, in a Tao way, they've gone to all these drugs before. They call immortal pill. Immortal pill is a lot of all kind of things inside there. So and one major portion is mercury. And they think they boil the mercury to one level, and they have sulfur, phosphorus, they have metal, and they have precious stone, all boiled, because the metal can dissolve by the metal only can dissolve by the mercury. So you put the metal in, they dissolve it, and you can inject and take it. But no matter what you do, there's still some poison there. So when they take it in, it's like you're taking poison. And you boom, the body producing a fighting effect, and it stimulates a death hormone on the top of the head. And that is the DMT. So the DMT people experience when they go to water, they drown. And that is the time the DMT is producing the person, and you see things. And the soul spirit, they run out, and you see vision, see things, and you see so many things. So it's the same thing like magic mushroom, because it's half poison and not very poison. The yellow mushroom is magic because it don't kill you right away, but it makes you close to death, and it stimulates the DMT. So you are use up the DMT that's stored in the moment of death, right on the pineal gland. So we call the death hormone. So that hormone, they trigger out the 5-MeO. You see color, see vision. You walk through the wall.
It's the 5-MeO DMT.
5-MeO, yeah. And the DMT make you feel like you're separation.
Okay.
The soul spirit go out.
You know a lot about psychedelics.
Oh yes, because my study and my expertise is I do all these things many years. Yeah. Okay. In the website this is very, and we compare to them why. So now
you experiment with magic mushrooms?
No,
I
don't want, because my master want me that the Tao go to so long, and this one is don't lead you to one way, because it's many thousand years we already gone through this.
Okay.
And finally they said no, we have to return back to internal pure.
So you want to connect with your internal DMT source.
DMT sources.
Okay. Which is produced in human beings.
But in the dark room, you producing it. You're not draining it. That is the whole key. So now...
And the masters used to go through this dark room as part of their training.
Right.
And that's why you got the idea to teach other people to do this. All right, and how does it work? How long do you need to be in the dark?
1 week. Totally dark.
Totally dark.
Everything is in the dark room. But the whole key, you have to understand that when we have two things. When you go to sleep at night, cover your eye and put the earplug, so dark. So when you dark, the body producing melatonin. But when in the morning, the melatonin you're producing at night, it turns to serotonin. So day and night like finish. But when you go in the dark, and you calm your mind and not speak and calm everything down in the dark, now the body producing more melatonin. 5 milligram, 10 milligram, 25 milligram. When the melatonin producing 25 milligram, now it have enough to produce it, because it's the same chain. It's exactly the same chain, it's the melatonin. So when it's 25, it's split into 5-MeO. So now you see, you're sitting there. After second day, or the third day, you have enough melatonin, because you when light comes, it convert the melatonin to serotonin.
Okay.
So when you have not converted to serotonin, you have enough, it's producing 5-MeO. And you see light, see color, see vision, see many, or see past life. Okay.
Very strong 5-MeO.
Right, very strong. And now when the 5-MeO finish, when you have more 5-MeO, now if you stay to the third or fourth day, now the 5-MeO have enough, it turn to DMT. And now you're sitting there, you feel, hey, something gonna get out of your body. And that is what we call the soul and spirit want to leave the body. So now we have to control them. We have to control them, because if you don't so we practice in the first, second, and third, and fourth, and fifth level. You try to control, feed the
We are running
I say,